Hello everyone and welcome to the Scuffed Kitchen. Today we are making a super cheesy lasagna, almost authentically Italian. As you can see, we got quite the number of ingredients today, but for a very good reason.
A lasagna is a layered pasta dish. For today's recipe we'll make a quick bolognese and a fragrant bechamel. The secret for my recipe is a ton of mozzarella cheese, so look forward to that. Also keep in mind that this is my adjusted recipe and it's probably not 100% authentic. Still, it's going to be very good.
Oh, it certainly will be. Quick side note. While a true bolognese takes a couple of hours at minimum, we will make a faster version. But in general, it's true. The longer the flavors are able to melt, the better. Okay, let's get started. The ingredients for today are 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, a thick piece of pork belly, as well as 350 grams of minced beef, a generous dollop of tomato paste, 3 carrots, a quarter of a celery root, a small piece of parsnip, canned peeled tomatoes, use San Marzano if possible. Next, 2 fresh tomatoes, dry basil, dry oregano, salt and pepper, canola oil, olive oil, white balsamic vinegar, half a liter of milk, 2 or 3 bay leaves, nutmeg, a knob of butter, plain flour, lasagna plates, buffalo mozzarella, shredded dry mozzarella, and a little bit of heavy cream. What a list! Wow! With that out of the way, let's get started. Begin by sharpening your knife. After that, peel the carrots. You can finely dice them, but today we opted to shred them instead. This looks like it's a bit too much carrot, so we'll probably not use all of them later. Generously peel the celery root. Afterwards, dice it into small pieces. Do the same with the piece of parsnip. The onion will first be cut in half, then peeled and diced afterwards. Take note that half of the onion is diced rather finely, while the other half is chopped somewhat roughly. Those two different types of onion cuts will be a more interesting texture in the bolognese. The garlic is just roughly chopped.
The tomatoes here will add a dash of fruitiness and acidity. However, due to the long cooking time, they will dissolve quite a bit. That's why only a very rough chop is more than enough.
The pork belly has a small bone in it that we quickly need to remove before cutting the meat into very generous cubes.
It's important to clean the board and knives after handling meat to prevent cross-contamination.
As last step, we need to cut the mozzarella in strips.
Wait, I said cheesy lasagna. We need more. 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 More.
Alright. Cut all of the mozzarella into slices and set it aside for later. Once you're done with all the prep work, it's time to start with the quick bolognese. Add the canola oil to the pot on high heat, then wait until it starts to shimmer. Next, add the pork belly and render out all the delicious fat. Keep the meat moving to prevent sticking. Once enough fat is rendered out, add the garlic and onion and stir thoroughly. Afterwards, when the onions become translucent, add the minced meat. Salt it, then add the ground black pepper. Start with a little first, and you can always add later to taste.
At this point you can add the olive oil for more fragrance. Also add the tomato paste and stir thoroughly. Let everything cook a little bit and roast the paste for a while.
You will see that the meat will lose a tremendous amount of water. Add the root vegetables and dry herbs and canned tomatoes. Break everything apart with a spoon, then stir thoroughly again. Bring everything to a boil, then reduce to a simmer. Once the root vegetables are starting to cook, add the carrots. As you can see, we grated too much, so we only add about 3/4. Once everything is mixed, add the white balsamic vinegar to taste. Afterwards, add hot water or broth of your choice to the mix. We use beef broth for a little bit of an extra kick. Bring everything to a simmer. Once the carrot slices become less firm, add the tomatoes. After one more stir, let everything simmer with the lid on for about 30 minutes.
In the meantime, we will make the bechamel.
To do that, heat the milk in a new pot. Add the bay leaves, a couple of peppercorns and the nutmeg.
Don't forget a pinch of salt.
Bring the milk to a boil. Then shut off the heat and let the herbs steep in the hot milk for around 20 minutes. Strain the fragrant milk into a container to use later. Next, make a quick roux. Add the butter to a hot pot and melt it down. Then add the flour. Try to keep this roux on the lighter side, so don't let it cook for too long. Add the milk bit by bit, constantly stirring, to avoid forming lumps. Then heat the bechamel sauce up to simmer to thicken it a bit. And with that we have all the ingredients for the lasagna. Next step is the layering.
Start with a layer of bolognese and bechamel, then add the pasta plate. Work your way up from there. Do not forget to add a copious amount of mozzarella to each and every layer.
Sure, let's go with that. Also, if your pasta form doesn't fit the plates, just add a few of the scraps to fill the holes. Nobody will ever see or know about it. Hey, say, isn't this getting rather full?
It fits like a glove.
Sure it does. So, make sure to overfill your form as our cook today recommended. For the last layer, add the shredded mozzarella and a little bit of heavy cream. And here it is. All that's left is to cook the lasagna at 160 degrees centigrade for about 25 minutes. If the cheese on top isn't brown yet, switch the grill on to get a nice crust. Keep in mind that the totally on purpose overfilled form will boil over a bit. This is okay. Pull the lasagna out of the oven, then let it rest for about 5 minutes.
It's time to cut.
Cut the lasagna in 6 portions. Then carefully spoon one of the portions out on a plate. Serve immediately with a piece of freshly baked ciabatta. If you want to know how to make that, I link the recipe in the description down below. And with that, we're done. What's your verdict?
The mix of the different sauces makes for an absolute flavor bomb. All the extra cheese is just layers and layers of oozing texture. Truly a delicious variant of this classic recipe.
Yeah. Did we add too much mozzarella? Is that even possible? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time!